Welcome to Money, Music, and Mental Mondays with Vistoso Bosses. Okay. And today we're going to talk about a topic that I feel like, may not get talked about enough or as I seen. What happened?
Your phone is glitching.
You know what? We're just gonna roll with the world with the whatever we could do. Let's talk about generational wealth.
Facts. Okay.
I think we should talk about that. I feel like that is a topic I feel like don't get talked about a lot, or unless I just don't see it. But I seen post with this girl, right? She was talking about how her parents got a house back in 1976 for like $76,000, which is very rare. You would never see those prices ever again in this day and time, right? And
hmm
so they end up selling their home, and then of course throughout the year she was getting updates of like when it was being sold, and the latest was like $660,000, and she was just like telling people like just hold on to your assets and investments and stuff like that. And my question was like, what is like what would be or what is general wealth? What does it look like? What does it look like in this day and time today? Like, what can we do to continue that generational wealth and not just the traditional way? And I feel like there are different avenues of doing that.
Okay.
And um it could turn into stuff like, God dang it, it is just glitchy so bad. Well, this not gonna go well.
Am I glitching too? Hold
Not
on,
at
y'all.
all.
If y'all are in here, I'm glitching too.
No. I'm on Wi-Fi.
Okay, so we need to try to fix this real quick. You want to try to get off and get back on, pick up where we
I
left
don't
off?
know, because I don't see that I'm glitching. Maybe could we ask, is there any people here? Can we
I
get some
know.
people?
If y'all can see us, are we
Maybe we can
glitching?
wait.
We don't want to wait, but
All
let's
right,
see.
we're not. All
Here,
right, cool.
I got a better idea. Here, let me see. Since I'm so smart, we're gonna go. Let's see if it
Here we
looks.
go. Hey, how you doing?
No glitching. Okay, cool. No glitching. Cool. Maybe it's my fault. I'm sorry, y'all. Carry on.
All right. Anyway, so my question is just like, what does it look like in today's times? Because everything is so high. Everything is literally like overly more than half a million to get a house, right? Just everything
Mhm.
is so, the old traditional way. It's just like
But like
that's not.
passing down your house.
Yeah, passing down your house is like usually the old traditional way, which is cool, but it's like because prices are rising and stuff, like everything is so high, it's like that's cool. You just need more assets, like, or people in your family need to be more involved in the things that connect with what you do.
Mm,
Or like, like this dude, he was a contractor. He's a contractor, but his family like contributes to what he do. Like somebody is a realtor or have a like
mm.
a brokerage, you know what I'm saying? Somebody got insurance. Like
So
it just
basically,
keeps.
their whole village like works together. Basically,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. I feel like
yes,
I'm like, okay, that's cool little avenue. That's cool.
yeah.
So yeah, what does that look like in the daytime? Do you know?
I mean, I feel like for me, that's like something that I always thought was really important, and I was really always big on like having like doing it with in house with like your family, with your close friends,
Hmm.
with people that's always around, because I mean that would be the easiest way to do it. Usually, like I know at least for me, you're around so many talented people. It's like everybody can do something and contribute, and that is like would be like for me ideally a great start to generational wealth. Even if you got something that was passed down and it's your whole team has something to contribute to it, even if you don't, you can learn something, to
Yeah,
contribute to it, and then keep that going. Because I feel like you said, like in today, okay, cool, if her parents would have left her the house and she doesn't have enough to keep it up herself, then eventually she might have ended up having to sell it anyway just to stay above water. So it's like
right.
I feel like if you have these big families, and I think that's why I was really so big on having, kids, like,
Mhm.
just to build on. And it's like, I mean, it makes sense. You have these big families, everybody's good at something, especially the families where the people are good at something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's like a
Right,
family
right.
full of actors or a family full of singers. Everybody can sing, everybody can act. Let's make a movie. Let's start a record
Right.
label. So I think that's kind of like, for me, I feel like it's the same concept. And then you start young, you teach your kids how to do stuff like yard work, sewing, whatever you're into. And, when you pass that down, that is going to help create the generational wealth. Cause I think that, I feel like maybe a lot of people think, you just making a lot of money and kind of giving it to your kids is like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the idea. And I mean, again, it could work. But I just feel like as time goes on and things change, having that work ethic and just the skill and the knowledge to do things and learn things is a real important way to kind of, keep that going. Because if you know how to make stuff, if you know how to do stuff, you can always make the money.
But
You
do
know what I'm
you
saying?
think like our generation has to work harder? Because if you came up in a, I don't know, single parent household or come from not generational wealth, then we have to work just as hard. Feels like we have to work harder
You know
to
what?
create be able to create that where you can
Um,
it.
I I'm not gonna say I feel like I don't know because I it's crazy that you said because I had just seen a post that said like um what did it say? It was something like we have to work like 10 times harder than our parents did back in the day. But I don't know about y'all because our parents was slaving. They were actual slaves, but they were also working you know what I'm saying, like a lot, like for pennies. And I feel like today, if you wanted to get on the internet and go viral, I mean, you could make an OnlyFans. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you don't have to work hard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I mean, just being honest, I'm not
It's a
saying
little bit easier now.
that's what I'm
A little
saying.
bit
So I just feel
easier.
like I'm not going to say we have to necessarily work harder. It's different and it might seem harder because you did not have the tools to do it. You weren't prepared
Mhm.
to do a certain type of work. And that's kind of what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like if you weren't put in a position, if you didn't have the skills, if you weren't taught certain things, if you ain't got certain morals, if that's just not your foundation, then yes, it's going to be harder. But it's like if you come from a single parent household and they taught you stuff, or two parent, whatever household you came from, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like again, it's about your upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we're a pretty good example of that. So it's
Mhm.
like it can be done. It's not harder, it's just different. And some people do have it harder. So obviously I'm not talking about people who have it harder. But do I think back in 1966 when they was working for 2 pennies, 8 hours a day, we working
Like
harder
it
than
was
them?
still hard.
No.
Yeah, it's still hard.
Yeah, I don't
Like
think
today's
we
time, we
working
have more
harder than them.
opportunities.
Right. I mean, they was pulling mules and building houses with the bare hands, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's different. Like, but then it's like, cool, you got a son, you're teaching him how to do yard work and lawn work and all this stuff at
Mhm.
an early age. And, he's doing stuff for the neighbors in the neighborhood. And it's just him and his mom or him and his dad living together. And as he grows up, he has this certain work ethic. He has certain skills, he has certain know-how, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when he get to be a teenager, he can do you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like a lot of times, like that is the start of generational of just teaching and knowledge and even like the stuff that we were learning with our music. Like, I don't feel like we just went to the studio and we recorded. We got in there and we learned how to do a lot of things too. Even
Yeah,
now, we're
you
still
got
learning.
skills.
Yeah, and it's
Having the
about
skills,
it's
you can.
yeah, like knowledge really is power. You could do a lot with that. So it's just like I just think it's one of those things that I'm traditional, so I definitely believe in passing things down. But I feel like now that I'm older, like even like what you were speaking on, I feel like that's something that might not be like feasible for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Especially just one person. But I feel like if you have that village and that those people around you, but it's
Mhm.
hard to do that, but because it's way easier said than done to get everybody to be all hands in to do something.
Mhm.
But if you got a team of people that can see the bigger cause and that's willing to do stuff like that, then I think that that's where it starts. Like, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got to have the right mindset, or the people with the right mindset around you, the same
Yeah.
mindset, or
Yeah.
be a little different, even a little better.
Yeah. The
Um,
like-minded people, that definitely helps, but it's also hard trying to do something like, I feel like even people when they start like businesses, and you got a lot of different personalities, and it's probably going to be difficult, but that makes the most sense, especially if everybody related. Like, you got 1,000 cousins that all can do the same thing. Y'all need
like
to
you
start a
need to be doing
business.
something. You need to be doing something. You need to be doing something.
Yeah, y'all need to start a business. Like,
You need to
come
start
on.
something.
Yeah.
It's
And then
just
to have
smarter. It's
that.
like work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. And also, I think instead of like having like a something that's like because I feel like, again, houses, I feel like that's just something that like within the community is was like you said, like a tradition. But it's like, if you can pass down a business and like some skill, like, what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, that would be that's fine too. Like, your grandma leave your house, cool, but your granddaddy, he leave your business, cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I feel like for me, that's where it starts. But I always had this idea of like family and togetherness and
But some people, I've even seen some people like this guy, I think when his daughter turned like 16, 14, 16, something like that. She was a teenager. He got her like a whole, I don't, was it a, what was it? Like a duplex or something for her to run. I don't know.
yeah,
Something like
I see
that. So
stuff
he
like
started
that.
her early,
Yeah, I see stuff like that, and that's what I mean. Though, I mean, if you're giving a little kid like, but like teaching them, and not just,
teaching
but
them.
see, I feel like it's
Right.
a difference between like buying it, giving it to them, putting their name on it. You know what I'm saying? And saying like, okay, this is, because I mean, I feel like, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because giving your kids stuff, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I feel like in order to kind of keep it up and maintain it for like years to come, giving that to them and then teaching them how to run it, you know what I'm saying? How to keep the books, how to deal with the tenants, how to do all of that stuff. Like, that's something that dang near can't be taken away. You know what I'm saying? Because you can lose the duplex, but you can get another one and you still know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And if you know what to
Mhm.
do, the odds of you losing it, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of slim. So
So I
yeah.
think this runs us into even talking about like financial literacy. Like I feel like that, like going through school, I feel like all the math subjects was terrible because we're not learning geometry or algebra outside of school. It'd be great to learn how to manage debt. It would be great how to learn how to just manage your money and just
Hmm.
building, saving, investing. Like it would have been so helpful,
Yeah. I mean,
you know.
100%. 100%.
Like I feel like that's top tier important, and
Yeah.
going through the school system like that, it just and coming out being straight into debt. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some people, well, what am I trying to say? Like some people go to college to probably figure out life a little bit, but kind of know
Yeah.
where they're going. But some people
Hmm.
really do be set up. But it also just all is a setup. You just straight into debt. But
Yeah.
it would be cool, like, it's like you gotta go to college to even know what financial literacy is, and that's just like, I don't think that's cool. I think it should start earlier than that.
Right. So you're basically saying you got to make the mistake first.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of that. But that's the only
Yeah.
way that the United States or runs off of that anyways, is how all this run just off of that.
College is expensive. College is expensive.
Yeah, it did. It is. And some
Yeah.
of them don't even what they get their degree in, they ain't even doing it.
Yeah, that's like a whole other thing because I hear a lot of people have those same complaints. I don't know though. I feel like people have been complaining about like the financial literacy like within the school systems, and there's yet to be anything done about it. But I feel like now, again, in this day and age, there's so many different like platforms, and we have access to so much more to
Mhm.
where, you can figure it out. But I
Yeah,
don't
now
know.
as an adult, yeah, but I would
Yeah, but
like
it's like, right. So, but I guess that, like you
for
said, ties into generational wealth because
there's
I
a
mean,
wealth. Yeah.
it's on us to teach
That's
that.
true though.
You
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? And I feel like even before us, maybe our parents knew, but it's like they didn't know how to teach us or if they should, because again, that's something that you not necessarily saying you don't prepare for, but you're kind of like, no, that's I'm gonna look out for my kid. We're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I like, how would you even think that? How would you prepare for that, or like, what would you do differently? Because we can't. I don't know, because you can't even really say like, what would you do if you knew they weren't teaching it at school? Because you didn't even know you was gonna need it. You know what I'm saying? When you got out here, you ain't know about no credit cards, no. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, but there also isn't conversations being had with your kid. Well, I'm
Mm,
saying back then before
yeah,
for because they was figuring it out. Hell, they was figuring it out as they were going. So it was like that wasn't even a conversation to have to even
yeah,
know. But I do also follow this lady and her kids. You probably came across her. I think she has 5 kids, and she teaches her kids at home like what they're not getting at school. So I think that's a really good thing too.
yeah. It helps if you have a vision before college. Absolutely. And the
Mhm.
parents are supposed to teach you. The parents are supposed to teach you. And it's like, I guess so now the next after us, I guess that's me and my kids. So I'm supposed to be teaching them.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got
Okay.
you got to
Okay.
get on it.
Yeah. But it's like, but see, me, I'm so I ain't got good sense. But I do know the importance now. So I
It's about
definitely
being disciplined and educating yourself. You have to be disciplined.
it's definitely about being, I would say definitely educating yourself. Like I said, I feel like now, I feel like before I've always kind of known like knowledge, learning, like, my grandparents big on books,
Mhm.
learning, teaching.
Mhm.
So that was always a thing. But it's like, it's like a really fine line too. You know what I'm saying? Like, about like, I guess, because you still want to be knowledgeable, you still want to be mindful, you still want to be disciplined and educated, but then it's like, on the other hand, you also don't want to cripple yourself and like, be so scared. I feel like it's just a fine line, like, those
Mhm.
people that um they not gonna spend $1 over, they're not gonna, what I'm saying, like, it's just, I
Remember
don't
when
know,
people
it's.
was couponing real hard?
Man, I walked in the store and this lady was couponing and she was on the phone and her mom was behind her and she was so happy. She was so happy. I was at the ATM and she was in front of me, I mean behind me, and she was so happy about them coupons. And I heard her talking about the bills and how much she saved and she paid 8 cents or something. I said, yeah, so
They
okay.
had a whole show with
So
that.
so checkmate. So that's T for me, because yeah, I really need to, again, stuff like that. It's like some stuff, but you just not doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
so I guess, yeah, that's.
It's also about just like um unlearning what you've been taught
Yeah,
and
or
try
not,
to
or
or
unlearning what you taught yourself.
self, right.
I think for me, that's what I was trying to articulate. Because again, I have constructed my own way of money management and everything when it comes to like finances. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have done that because I'm not gonna say I wasn't we weren't taught, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
had to not only learn myself, but figure it out before I learned. And then again, you having to unlearn what you're already doing and what's working for you, or what you think might be working, I guess. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's fair. Respect. Not me learning by myself on live. T for me.
Let's get into music.
Okay. So what was we talking about music? What do we want to talk about? Okay. So we were chatting a lot about the music topic. Okay, wait, before we are we doing more music? Yes, we are. We are doing more music, David.
Yeah, go
Um,
download our music that's out now.
mhm, mhm.
You haven't.
So I think the last thing we were talking about was like our music and emotional expression along with the music. And again, I think everything kind of goes hand in hand because even this subject, I feel like we have always been very like expressive and descriptive about what we're going through when we are actually making the music. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
like I feel like this could even be like a little singy song about something. You know what I'm saying? Like a little Cash Money song or something. Um, but yeah, so basically just about like the emotional side of the music for us. Um and not only like performing the music or like singing the songs and reading the lyrics, but like the whole overall production. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
because again, I when we
Seeing the
first
vision all the way through, basically.
right, but when we first started like our music, like even way before we went into a real studio, we were producing our own music. Um,
Definitely.
Even before we got Fruity Loops, I mean, we were doing it on the tape recorder.
Mhm.
You were making the beats and people
Mhm.
would record it the little
On the keyboard, I think he was making the beats on the
we was
keyboard.
using our hands before we had a keyboard, boom.
Oh well, all right. Refresh
We
my
was
memory.
the little
Was we using the pencil on the desk
yeah. Cause we
method?
really I feel like we really knew like we always had a vision of what we wanted to sound like.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's something that like I wonder like other artists, like, is that something that because like when we did, like I said, the earlier songs, we didn't have nothing to go off of. So we just knew what we wanted to rap about or sing about
Mhm.
and what we wanted the beat to sound like. We had nobody to make it. So we had to like mimic it ourselves. And I think that really like helped us with the whole production of our music.
And
So
knowing what we wanted, just knowing period what
yeah.
we wanted. Most
Yeah. So
important.
it's like, but when people talk about like, music and like emotional expression, it's always usually like about singing through it or rapping through it. But I feel like I wonder if like I guess how producers feel. You know what I'm saying? Like that because again, like we've produced stuff, like, and that's also a form of expression. Like it's
Mhm.
like an instrument. You're using your hands, you're using, other tools, you using actual instruments to like portray exactly what you're feeling at the same
Mhm.
time. So
Mhm.
um I don't know, I just for me, it just seems like how different is that for like other than like make like rapping or singing? You know what I'm saying? Like I guess like from like other people's perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Like the expression part. You know what I mean?
I think when you're creative and you just need to let it out, you just have to let it out the way you hear it in your mind. Sometimes you can't even find the person that can make what's in your brain, or
Right.
it was the same thing. Like, we put our whole style together. So
Right.
no,
But I feel like
nobody
I've
could
never
really
really
recreate that, you
right.
know?
But I feel like I never like until I saw the topic, I never really tied like our style and our production and our music and like our to like emotional expression. Cause you know what I'm saying? I was like, we just having fun, but it's like this is really the way we express ourselves.
Feel.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't really think about it from a production standpoint either. Like when we did More Than Glitter, that's something that I had in my head. And I was like, Billy, like I need you to help me get this out. Like I can tell you what it sounds like in my head and you do it and then it's like looking back at the video or like hearing the song and like just remembering what I was feeling at that moment like when I came up with it and then to like hear it it was like
Was
crazy and
it
I
it was spot on.
yeah it was like I it's like when you think about something you want to eat and you go get it or you make it
Yeah.
and it tastes
And it's
exactly
like,
just how
yeah,
it's exactly
how you
like that but
envision it.
I
Yeah.
I never really tied like all that together I guess like I
No,
never
that
really
makes that makes sense. I mean, you didn't think like it would be emotional expression. Like it's like
right.
that's what you emotionally feel at the time, and that's what you needed to express. It's like,
Right. So it's like, is that how producers be feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
I feel like
so.
that's dope. Yeah, that's dope. Because they don't sing or rap usually. They make the beat. So it's like, I don't know. I thought it was cool. That was
No,
just
that makes sense.
mm,
Cause have you watched the Pharrell Lego movie? His documentary movie is so good. You have
mm-mm.
to go watch it. It's so
Okay.
good. I
I
watched
love
it
some Legos.
twice. It was
No.
so
What's
good.
it
So
on?
he
We'll talk
Oh,
about it
see, it
after
was
that.
out in the theater, but yeah.
Okay.
So he was just saying how when he heard music for the first time, it was like he seen colors. It was just like
Mhm.
he automatically heard, like when he see something, or like what you was saying when he think, or I don't know, like the expression of it, like he just seen it come to life in his mind, I guess. And like he just went out there and produced what he envisioned and seen, because he sees music as colors. Like when you play music rhyme, that's just, it's like a
Yeah, that's
bright light.
insane.
It's colorful. Yeah, that's what he said.
That's
And I was like,
insane.
so good, you should watch it.
But I that's what I'm saying. That's so cool. 'Cause again, like I never I did it, but again, like I said, listening back, looking back, it took me back to a place, and I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Like what like just identifying the feelings and just that could come from again like producing engineering out of your head and putting them out there. I don't know. It's great. Okay, I feel seen. I like that. I feel seen.
We're
Thank
real
you.
creative.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. Creativity comes out. Whatever. Yes, whatever you have
Yes.
at your disposal. Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
But again, I just for me, it's just like how when you're just like things are second nature, and you're just used to doing them,
Yeah, you
and
don't
like
think
some,
about it.
yeah, you don't think about it until like you go back and then think about it, and it's like, oh, I was feeling this, and I was feeling this, and I made this, and then even when I go back to what I made, I still feel that. So I think that's dope. That's
No,
dope.
that makes sense. It's the same
Yeah.
thing like when you're dancing, or like,
Yeah.
like
You
I
know I
like
can't
to
dance.
dance.
So,
Well,
okay.
I love to
Okay.
dance. So if I really hear something that I like, I'm gonna just automatically come up with something that I didn't think I had, and now it's the move, and now everybody's gonna do the move. It's like
Mm.
that.
Got it. Okay, cool. I guess that and so I guess that's kind of goes hand in hand with like music and like that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Like, okay, this is okay, it's kind of it's not really the same thing, but like music and like how it triggers your memory.
Hmm.
Like
I got
again,
some.
yeah, okay, because it's always somebody that's like, oh, I remember when this came out. I was here. I was there. I was like, it'll be so descriptive, you know what I'm saying, of that time. And it's just like, I remember some of the, or like, I remember some of the, I have like a lot of memories that got triggered from me listening to music today, but there were like from when I was like 6, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
like, I don't know. I just thought that was really cool. What like does that happen to you often? Like, has
Like,
that ever happened, like, where you're like, I don't know, you hear a song and you just it literally, like, it's like your mind time travels back to wherever you were when you first heard that song, or you know what I'm saying? Like, when you
that happens. That
because that is
happens.
just so crazy. So, I was, okay, y'all know it's a Black household. So on Sundays, we clean up, deep
Hmm.
clean. I got the vibes going, little Aretha, but ever since, like, my babies was born, I always play Sade. And I don't know for like it's been like obviously years and years and years. And um so I just, I play when I clean up. And then one day I'm like walking around. I got the candles going. I got a little sage going. I got, you know what I'm saying? It's smelling a little fabuloso-y. And then I'm just remembering as I'm walking, I like see myself, like I'm walking in my house, and then I like see myself walking as a little girl at my granddad's house where his wife used to be cleaning up playing Sade. All her
Hmm.
candles lit in the house super clean. Um, but it's just like I'm like, that's where I first heard Sade. And it's like
Yeah.
subconsciously, that's I grew up on Sade. I didn't even realize, like I didn't know
Mhm.
Sade back then. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yes.
just, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But
It
yeah, it just
triggers. Yeah, it triggers the
yes.
emotion.
It's like a serious, like I can remember what it smelled like. I can remember what the house looked like, the furniture, where the TV was, like the layout of the house,
Everything.
everything. And I was just like, this is so like,
Oh, it
it's just
is.
crazy.
Yes, music is definitely time travel. Yep. It sure is.
Yes.
That's a perfect way to say that. I didn't think about it like that, like a
Yeah,
time travel.
it's crazy
It's
though. Like
crazy. I mean, but that makes sense because when people hear the lyrics, they're like, "Oh my god, my
I
childhood!
know, and it's even
I was
crazier when
singing
people do
that."
it to our song too. Like
I
when they
know,
tell
right?
us, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm like, girl, you were doing that, and then
But
okay,
then you
like
got to think about when we was making the song, like
I
where we
know.
were.
That's what I'm saying. Like again, like I said on our last live, like it's like I remember the feeling, the way the air smelled, like everything. Like it's crazy.
Okay, what were y'all feeling when you worked on your new song "Trouble"? Amazing.
Perfect.
Amazing. I just felt like because the way the song felt, it felt like a old 2000s, not old, but just my from my memory, like a early
Mhm.
2000s like band that we would used to listen to or something, like rock band. And I don't know, it just gave me that feeling, like a whimsical feeling, and it just made me feel good. I just know that.
Yeah, I feel like when we actually worked on the song, I felt like that was what's the word? The word I'm gonna use the word nostalgic because
Definitely.
number one, for me, it was because I went back home and I feel like we were kind of around each other. We got to feel each other's energy and just to be like pretty much in a similar environment where we started and just be recording and just like actually in the booth and that atmosphere for me, I feel like that was very like familiar. So it
That's
was calm
good.
and yeah, and it was comfortable. You know what I'm saying? It was calm and comfortable, and
Good.
yeah, I yeah, that's. I mean,
Cause
it
I
was
mean, that was a minute. I mean, it had been a minute before we actually seen each other in person. So that's good that you
yeah.
felt like that. It felt like um
I mean, I feel like we it didn't really feel like we missed a beat. You know what
missed
I'm
the beat,
saying?
right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was like literally exactly the same. I feel like you can look at our pictures and videos and see like, girl, ain't no way
Right.
y'all ain't been around each other in how many years?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like it was a comforting feeling and it was a sense of like reassurance too. And I feel like for us completing the song and putting it out, you know what I'm saying? It was like it was very reassuring. And then again to see the response after we put it out. Yeah. 10 out of 10 experience. We'll do it again.
That's
We'll do it again. We'll do it again. And then okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about.
okay. Yeah, what you want to talk about?
Let's see. I mean, let me get my palm palette.
My palm. Yeah.
Okay, so oh, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about when it came to music was how music genres influence identity. I thought this would be a
Okay.
good topic for us to talk about because when I was kind of thinking about this again, like I feel like everything is so second nature that I not saying I don't think about it, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not a thought that's in the forefront.
No,
And
I know what you mean.
um
Exactly.
yeah, just like about which genres influence us directly. Cause you know, people would ask us all the time, like, you know, what's your style? What's this? What's that? And we would always say we're eclectic
Mm-hmm.
because my God, it came from a thousand different places, a thousand things. You know what I'm saying? Like from
Well,
riding the MARTA bus to being at the masquerade, from Lil Five to Underground. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally like so many different ways it could go. Um, so I wanted
but
to
not
take
even that. Our moms just like didn't have us in a box, so that really play a huge part in who we are.
yeah, definitely agree. I feel like we were really lucky because our our moms really allowed us to
Mm-hmm. Express
experience
yourself.
whatever,
Experience.
yes, express and
Mhm.
experience whatever it is we were interested in, like quite
Mhm.
literally from places to things to clothes to food. There was never a time where we did something. It wasn't no, oh, that's ugly, that don't look good, that don't look right. One
Mhm.
eyebrow over here, the other one down here. It don't matter. Like it does not
Like,
matter. And it's
okay.
like, especially with music, because you know my mom, she was a punk rocker. So, well,
Mhm.
I mean, they both
They
were.
both were.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they both were. But then at the same time, they were
Yeah,
gangster,
they were in a girl
gangster
group.
girls. Yes,
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
the
in a
girl
rap
group.
group.
Raw Seed. Go look it up.
Frosty
Seed
is
is
the
the seed is
dawn.
the bomb. It's better than a 20 sack where I get my leave. Better than a honey sack where I get. Okay,
Yeah.
real quick. This we gotta recreate one of them. But anyway,
That's
y'all go
man, I was just thinking that for real. Agreed.
agree with the
We're here.
outfits. Yes. So I think their musical influence obviously influenced us, and like punk rock, gangster girl rap, a little bit of they were kind of like I don't know, they were kind of doing everything, and then they listened to everything.
So so well, the first name to their group was Borrow. What was it? Borrowed
Far
by the
from the
boys.
boys.
Borrowed from the boys.
Far
And
from
then
the
literally they were
boys.
dressing like how people
Mm-hmm.
dress today. They were dressed like
Mm-hmm.
baggy shirts, baggy pants, all that, like big stuff on. So
I
I
wish I
thought
could
that was
add some pictures in here. I
I
don't know.
know. We gotta save them, and then you could. I think you could, but they had gave that whole vibe. That's what's going on right now, like
Yeah.
back in the early '90s.
And then after that it was Raw Seed.
Hmm.
But yeah, they were dope. And then so their genres influenced us because my mom listened to uh Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Same,
obviously Outkast,
same.
um, to old school music. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it's like we never were in a box. So I guess that did like influence us directly. And so we were just kind of like all over the place, which is why I feel like we never had um like a flow, like a nice little because you know what I'm saying? Like again, if we take all our whole catalog and put it right here, it's literally some of everything.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, yeah, it is. It is the genres do influence our
Yeah.
identity because, like, in any moment, I'm sure the same with you. Get in a car with your mom, or I get in a car with my mom. It's like whatever we feel that day is like it literally can go from one end to the
Yeah.
next in any moment, and then we just still
We were doing
rocking out
karaoke
to it.
last night. We did karaoke last night to end off our Easter celebration.
Hmm.
So my mom comes down here and we doing karaoke. So we doing 24s by T.I. Because come on. But then she go outside and come back in and we're singing I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. And she was
Yeah,
like, oh, y'all was just singing 24. Y'all was just gangstering it. It's like, yeah, that's that influence. Like you did that. You did that.
yeah.
So, but I mean,
It's the
I love
ATL
it.
in you.
Yeah, I love being able to have such a wide range because I feel like that is why we are so eclectic and why people thought we were so different. You know what I'm saying? We were just allowed to have those experiences. So I
Hmm.
think that was good. And then somebody had asked a question. This is what I wanted to I wrote this one down.
Okay.
So the question was how do we plan to influence with our genre? Or I'm sorry, how did we plan to influence with our genre? And has it changed? And if it has changed, then how? Like our own music personally. Somebody
I
asked this
feel like
question.
we've
I thought this was
already
good.
influenced.
Okay.
I feel like we've already made a stamp. I feel
She
like this
said
is why
clock
they
it.
look the way they look now and sound the way I feel like
She said, did she, yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like we have. But I mean, we're also working on we have a new sound now. So
Mhm.
it's still pretty much the same concept, like
Yeah.
of what it was before. We're just continuing it.
Yeah. And I feel like, because I was gonna answer her back, but I was like, girl, come to the live. But I feel like the way like you said, I feel like we plan to influence the same way. And I feel like our everything was just so cool. Like I feel like one thing I really like not to toot our own horn, baby, but how we grew up and into our adulthood has just been so cool. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Mhm. Mhm.
everything is just so cool. And I feel like our supporters that like follow us and that we talk to, that we chop it up with, that's like our family now, I feel like they're just cool. Like it's just chill, it's
They
cool.
are.
It's cool because I mean obviously it's positive, but it's just the influence is not only positive, but it's cool, it's chill, and it's real. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like the the more music we make now that we're older, I feel like a lot of people are kind of like expecting probably something like, like a little too different, but it's like we're fortunately enough still kind of like the same people, you know what I'm saying? So just expanding on what we've done before and really like, we always say we really want no role models, but at the same time, giving like positivity in the way that we do it. You know what I
Right.
mean? That don't
Right.
mean being old saints and holier than now, but I mean, life's good. So ain't nothing to be negative about. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I feel like that's the true essence of our influence. You know what I
I feel
mean?
like also too, we just want to influence, like having like people really expressing their emotions through the music, or feeling like have them. It's like a almost like a roller coaster, or
Mhm.
just like one moment we might have something that make you feel like dang, like our Christmas song. Like at that moment, it's like some people might not have good Christmas. So it's like you have that feeling, and
Yeah.
then you have trouble, and then you
Yeah.
have delirious, and then it's just kind of like, you just moving the emotions around a little bit.
Yeah. And I guess
It's
that's
just
what I
not the
meant by like,
same. It's not the same emotion the whole time.
yeah. But that's what I meant by like it's real. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
like
It's authentic.
it's like it's not really like a gimmick. Like again, this is stuff that it's happening, stuff that we going through, and just
Hmm.
to be able to write about it and express it, like I feel like that's a genuine influence. Like,
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I mean, that was a good question though.
I'm gonna tell them you said that. If you're watching this,
It was still a good question. I hope you went live, girl.
y'all the only ones that can pull off a tuxedo and suit and jeans together. Okay, that's crazy. But we did have that on. What were the Blues Brothers with the little canes? Is
Yeah, it
that
was a part of our what was the like a little sitcom,
yeah, our reality show,
our
our
reality show that we were
variety show,
doing on YouTube before people was doing dressing up. All
our
right, let me go.
variety show. Yeah. Okay, so good question. Thanks for asking that. And then let's see. What else do we want to talk about today? So we did a little bit of money. Let's talk about the
Mm-hmm.
money. Okay.
Some music, what they be saying, music.
Mental.
Some music.
And then mental. So now we're gonna talk about the mental and the mind. Cause yeah. So going back to what you said earlier when we were talking about financial literacy,
Mm-hmm.
like what about the link between financial instability and mental health? Because I feel like when we were like, for example, when you were talking about the girl
Mm-hmm.
and they sold the house, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying, cool, you want to give your kids generational wealth. You don't sell the house, give it to Shorty. She can't do nothing with it.
Right, because
Now
who's gonna
she's
help
stressed out.
keep it up? Right.
So does that go hand in hand, like you being financially um like unstable or and like how does that affect your mental health? Again, like I said, for me, I feel like I'm a little bit different. I'm a Sagittarius, so 9 times out of 10,
What that mean?
I really can't stress about things that's out of my control. Like, I mean,
That's a good concept though, because you're not supposed to stress about things that's out of your control.
I feel like you're probably not, but again, that's not an ideal for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Of course,
how
yeah.
do you balance that? You know what I mean? I feel like that's something that also needs to be talked about because like again, I know what type of person I am, but then on the flip side, there's somebody who, like
Overthinks or
so this
like
is
they
gonna this
gotta
is a,
just
I'm gonna give you a small example.
okay.
It's probably gonna sound crazy. It might sound crazy. I don't know right now.
Okay.
You know, let's say I'm trying to think of some scenarios that I've seen. Okay, let's say you
Okay.
get a bill because people be on in there like, how do y'all, um, pay all your bills on time with just working at this one place, because I'm struggling. Da, 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 da. Now, on my side of TikTok, when I go in the comments, they be like, I don't pay. Period.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But it's just like you'll get a bill for $26. Your water bill 58.95, and you don't get paid until Friday, but it's due today. It's like there are people who want to pay their bills on time. I mean, that's
Hmm.
important, and you don't have it. And again, that link between your mental, like that's messing up your mind. You stressed out. You can't
Because
eat.
it's a date on it.
You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't have it. I don't.
That's just it. What happens is what I do if it well, I just guess I will talk about what I would do.
I mean, again, not
So
even to give, like, you know what I'm saying, but just like again,
no, no, no.
how does
I'm
that look
okay
for a
with that.
person? Yeah, that
Everybody goes through that moment, right? Everybody sometimes don't have it, and sometimes you gotta borrow it. But I just know that if it is something like that, it will be like, all right, I give a little bit to you. Then I may or may not. I'm gonna have to come back to you. But I know it's
yeah.
like maybe a 5 day window for me to be able to give,
But does that
pay for
affect
it.
your mental health? Like if you're not able, does that affect your like what like does that affect your mental health? And if so, then what are some ways like people are
Ugh.
coping with that? You know what I'm saying? Because again, like you was talking about like the price of eggs, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
eggs in the grocery store is $10. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like you
see somebody that said 15.99. That's crazy.
stealing. Anyway, but if you don't have it and you have a family to feed, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how does that affect your mental health? And what are ways that people are even coping? Because I mean, that's kind of serious. Like, again, not being able to pay your bills, that sucks. But then not being able to afford basic kind of necessities and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does that,
You have to start. Mm,
and that's why I said I'm a Sagittarius, because
you
it's
have to.
for me, it's ways around
It's a
everything.
lot.
So
It is. It's
I
like I
ain't
mean,
tripping.
of course, and
Hey Jamil. Hey, JS Production. What it do?
yeah. So I think there are ways. There are some ways. First of all, you got to calm yourself down because you
Okay.
about to send yourself on somewhere. Like
Not
you
the upper
gotta
room. Yeah.
bring down
Yeah.
the stress level, and you have to find out where can I let this stress out. It could be working out. It could be going to go walk around. It need to be out grounded, being in nature. It need to be painting. Whatever it is you need to do to not really overthink it, because it's
Yeah.
like the only thing you can do is give a little something.
Or give a little
Or
nothing if you ain't
or
got
give
it.
a little nothing if you don't have it. That's
Yeah.
just it. They gonna get it and they
I
gonna
just
get it.
see so
I
many
did so
people.
many overthinking. So it's
Yeah.
overthinking.
But it's like again, everybody's so different that it's just like one of those things that like I said, I
You
feel like
freak
it's ways
out. I know.
yeah. And it's like it sucks to see that, but it's like having your mind and your mood and stuff be affected by something like that. Cause that's so real. You know what I'm saying? That's not just like
Mhm.
a it's real. You know what I mean? Not being able to provide, not like that's a little bit different than, you ain't got no pink to wear to the girls' trip. You feel me? Like this is a real
Mhm.
thing. And it's just to see people like affected by that, I think that it's just kind of sad. And I feel like being on the internet, again, going back to last week, being on the internet doesn't help. Because I feel like
It
a lot
surely
of
does.
people, yeah, I feel like a lot
Anxiety
of
is all the
people,
way up.
and then you're seeing all these other people in these other situations and you can't help yourself. You know what I mean? And so, what did I say? The comparison is the thief of joy. And it's just like you're watching other people and you're struggling, and it's like I don't know. I don't know how you would find that balance. Like it just seems like I don't know. It's crazy. And again, like I said, the way the times are, like the eggs is $10.
Yeah. I mean, it's just hey, either you pay it or you don't. And you get to it when you get to it. That's the only way you can really cope. And then it's just kind of like up in God's hands or up
Yeah.
in oh, can I say that? I don't know. Can I say God?
The God. Now wait a minute.
I know YouTube is weird. I don't know.
Somebody
Every time I
block.
watch people's stuff, they stuff is
Somebody
weird.
get off my
And you're like,
life.
oh,
Get off my
that's
life. You're crazy.
okay. But anyways, give it up to spirit. I don't know. Just you're gonna have to let go. That's the only thing that you can't do.
I'm about to ban you from. All right, she said. Oh, you're crazy. Okay, but no,
Just let
seriously.
it go. Just let it go. That's all you
Yeah.
gotta do.
So y'all in the comments, just let us know. Like again, we were talking about the link between financial like being unable to financially do things and stability and your mental health. So we were just talking about that. Like how
Yeah,
do
let me
y'all
with that.
how do y'all handle that? Do you have experience with that? Or is that even something that affects you? Like shout out to all the Sagittarius. Wait a minute. Okay, real quick. I need advice what to do if somebody is coming after you in a relationship, but they a 10 and they fine. Hmm.
When somebody's coming after you,
You in a relationship and they want to be in a relationship with you, or
what?
they coming after you in a huh?
Huh? Yeah, I don't know.
Friend, reword that. We gonna come back. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Come back. What? Okay. Okay. Um, Maya, what kind of question?
Girl.
Baby girl.
What was he asking? You have to start over.
Okay, and then I saw somebody ask, what's the longest song to make? And it made me think of since we're talking about mental health,
What
like
was the question?
the question was what's the longest? I think it was like what's the longest
What song take the longest to make?
yeah.
Okay.
But it made me think of like burnout when like for a
Okay.
musician, like for artists. Because again, I feel like
Mhm.
that's a I don't again, let's we can discuss it and see if it's like a mental thing or whatever, but just like a creative block or like a burnout. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you ever been like, well, I know you.
Every
But
day. Every day I'm burnt out.
all right, guys, we
Every
better take
day.
a no.
No, no, I know exactly what you mean because I mean I'm an entrepreneur, so yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. But it's like even in music, there's been times like, you just have like a like writer's block or something, or you just ain't feeling the inspiration, or you just ain't feeling
Yep.
the it's nothing worse than getting like a track of, you get it and it be like
You
so
can't
it
think of nothing. Well, you know what you have to do for that, right?
no, that's why I'm
You have to get back to yourself and you have to go ground yourself and you have to get out so you can get all the creative juices from being from there. It's like you have to just get back to yourself basically.
what?
And you have to find you do. It's like you got to probably help, I don't know, release something, write something in your journal. I don't know. It's like you got to get the moving and also you got to get the blood flowing in your body. Like all that
Like, I
goes.
feel like I've experienced burnout for like a longer period of time than just like a day. Like I feel like
Yeah.
it's probably and again sometimes maybe it's not just maybe it's like a creative block because subconsciously maybe you don't like something. I don't know. Like you ain't never got a track and you like, okay, it sounds good, I'm gonna write to this. Sit down and write it. You can't write nothing, you can't think of nothing. It's not bad. It's not bad, but you know what I'm saying? And then you revisit it and you still can't think of nothing. Like
Right.
that
No,
creative block, it's just like that I feel like is like what I don't know, but
oh,
again, you're saying grounded and just right. But see, when I get a mental block, I have tried it to where I just will write words like anything
yes, you have to find what is going to either
because the
bring you
burnout be
back.
real.
The burnout is real, the writer's block and all the creativity block is real, but you have to get back to self to find that, to open it back
Where the
up.
heck does
And
that
it's like,
even come from, though? Is that like your like what?
because let's just say, okay, like if you are around a lot of people, or if you are around even if you just two people or one person, right? And
Mhm.
if it takes a lot of energy from you to just keep up with them and try to keep up with yourself, it does create a block in your creativity. So it's like you have to find
That kind of make
it's
okay,
like
so cool. Yeah, you're going through something mentally, and you probably need to separate yourself from that because you can't do nothing else.
you have to give time to yourself.
Yeah,
Because if you're giving yourself out to everybody else, it just naturally happens to where your creativity just goes away. It's like nothing about it makes you want to be creative, or you just
true.
can't think of nothing because you're drained. It's like you got to reboot. You got to get that blood flowing. You got to get some. I don't know. It's like you got to do whatever it is
No,
that
that makes
makes you
sense.
get all that back.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah. Because I was like, again, is that something like, but again, your mind and your body is kind of going hand in hand with the creativity.
Hmm.
So I guess if you
Hmm. Hmm.
drain, then ain't nothing fun. What you gonna be creative with? Yeah, okay. Yeah, burnout usually drags on for weeks or even months. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And
God
I feel
dang,
like
it do though.
it does. And it, again, that makes sense now that we're talking about it because I guess if I think back to the times, it's probably so much other stuff going on. And then you take a little break,
Recharge. Yep,
shake it
gotta
off.
recharge.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then that kind of makes me want to like revisit some things that when I felt like I was having a burnout, if I revisit them now, you know what I'm saying, in a different headspace, I wonder if I would be able to create differently.
And sometimes you do have to remind yourself, like, you have to kind of find the fun in it too. You have to get
Yeah.
back into the fun of it
Yeah.
because
Cause it's
when
like
everything becomes so like structured, you just do the same
mm,
thing every day, or like you just trying to still keep up. It's like now you have to play a little bit.
yeah.
Uh, Something failed. I didn't know what it was. I got scared.
Yeah, but that makes sense too because it's like you ever have to do something like within a specific time frame or like a deadline and you have to do it and you just like you know what I'm saying? Like
That's the thing. Time is made up, and that's what make pressure come. And
take your time, Pastor.
date is made up. Like all this stuff is made up, and it's
Yeah.
annoying because it brings pressure.
Yeah.
So that's why when you go back to when you saying like the bills, like how you handle that and your mental with that, or when you get in that space of being stressed, like how do you mentally handle that? It's like because we're put on a time strain. So when you put time on stuff, it just
Yeah.
makes the pressure be like, oh, I
And then
gotta
it ain't
have da da
fun
da
no
da.
more.
And it's not fun anymore. And it's like
Yeah.
you kind of gotta just let stuff go and find the fun in it, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
And he gonna take care of it, or she gonna take care, whichever one. Nicole. All right, we're gonna leave that there.
That's crazy.
I don't know if we can say this stuff on YouTube. Can you say God? Can you say that on here?
Stop. Stop. Okay, but that was really good. Okay. Okay, not because put me up on some game or whatever. Okay, period. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so that's
I'm
pretty
just in a
much
little. I'm in a little therapy. You
you.
know,
You in your therapy bag.
I am. I
Clocked
am.
it. Clocked
Yeah,
it.
I'm in it. I'm in it. I get. I go to
I like
therapy.
it.
I do.
I like it. I like it.
I write in my
Um.
journal, light my candle. You know.
Okay. I think I should probably start journaling too. I have like a my brain is like a piece of paper crumbled up sometimes, and I
No,
feel
you
like
probably should.
music, writing music. I think it's different now because I don't write music as much. Because when we were writing music, like again, that was our expression. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't need a
And
journal.
it was fun.
Yeah, I didn't need a journal though because we were writing lyrics. So it's like that is the journal. So now I feel like yeah, maybe I should do that. That might also, I feel like as time goes on, you might not realize how much you as a person has changed. So your creative process might just be different from how it functioned before.
Mm,
That's a good one.
that
That
is
that is
good.
so true.
That
And again,
makes sense.
that's why I said maybe like there's a couple of things, a couple of tracks, a couple of just things that I feel like I can revisit and try to recreate with these little techniques because again, I have changed as a person. It's probably completely different in so many different ways that I could release that, like that would help me be creative, like
Hmm.
that would like lift that block. I think, yeah, I think that's good.
That is really good.
Look, he said you're good, Kelsey.
Probably because his thing failed and I reacted.
Huh? He's talking about a God girl.
Oh, I forgot that fast. Okay, I don't want to get too religious on here. I guess.
Take it, and then I said take your time, Pastor. So I ain't no better. Oops. Okay, what we going on? Okay, you think we got? I wanted to take one more thing, but
Okay,
I
let's
think I
yeah.
could save it for next week because it's kind of
Okay.
like a broad topic. But it was just about like confidence and self worth tied to your career success. So I think that's something that we should talk about maybe next week.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, just because again, like the way we like again, we're looking on our socials and everything, and just really kind of like taking a deep dive into like what like the commenters and what y'all be saying. So a lot of times when we see these things, we just write them down, and I feel like that's like really good things to what I'm saying, like expand on and talk about with y'all. So yeah.
Yeah, if you have any questions, y'all want to ask us as far as like music, money, and the mental,
Yeah.
ask us, and we'll definitely answer the question on here, and we'll see you on the live.
Yeah,
Next
look, next week we're gonna be live at 5. We had some
We're
technical
going to get
difficulties.
it together.
I don't think it was us. I don't know. I don't think it was us. But we gonna next time we need to start at like maybe an hour early just to make sure. But yeah. So that's that's pretty much it for today's music, money, and mental. And yeah,
Mondays.
thank y'all for being here. Oh yeah, on a Monday, period. And joining us. And yeah, so next Monday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern,
Uh huh.
5 p.m. Pacific, like the ocean.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm,
Mhm.
mm-hmm. All right, so we'll see y'all next week. Love
All
y'all.
right. I'm Kelsey,
Um, my name is Taylor, and
and
we
we're
are
Vistoso
Vistoso
bosses.
Bosses. Vistoso. How the whole world's giving out
Vistoso.
Vistoso.